All right, I know what you're thinking. Another tier list. That's so original, but I promise this one will be entertaining. As the pandemic went on, people have been using a lot of these tools for work, school, talking to their family members via video or just text chat. And the pandemic has really cemented these in a lot of people's lives. Yeah, they had some success before the pandemic, but the pandemic really made these apps successful in a lot of ways. Just look at these user adoption charts for Zoom and Teams. These were being adopted before the pandemic, but it was really the necessity of the pandemic that actually made them stick. Like a lot of things, I originally had this idea as a joke, but I figured, let's do it. So now it's serious. So since tier lists are in style, I figured let's settle it here. One definitive ranking for the whole world right here on this channel. Now I don't use all of these every single day or even every single week. So if I get something wrong, don't blame me, just blame the different companies that make me use them once in a blue moon. So with all that being said, this is the collaboration/communications app tier list.
And here we go.
All right, so up first, we're gonna go with the de facto option, Zoom. Say what you want about how well it works, but it's pretty much become the Kleenex of video calling. Even when you're not using Zoom, I feel like people still sometimes call a generic video call a Zoom, regardless of whether or not it actually was. It pretty much gets the job done and does everything that you expect one of these apps to do in terms of hosting a meeting or a video chat. That's about it. Once you close the meeting, it's just gone. There's really nothing else to it. So for mainly that reason, I'm gonna make this in the C tier. It gets the job done, but there's really nothing special. All right, next up is Microsoft Teams. I'll say I'm kind of biased because I use this one every day, but honestly, maybe that makes me less biased because if it was a bad app and it was hard to use, I might know about it. Teams really seems to work best in enterprise settings. I've seen it used in educational settings as well, and they're adding some personal features. The chat and the file sharing is nice. Those work well, but really the team function, which I would think would be core to the functionality, kind of leaves a lot to be desired in my opinion. I actually find a lot of people create a team and use it for like a few days and then it ends up being irrelevant for whatever reason. A lot of times people just turn to regular group chats outside of the Teams functionality in Teams to communicate amongst a group of people consistently over a period of days or weeks or months. So as far as that piece goes, Slack and Discord definitely win in terms of servers and channels because it just seems to persist over time more in terms of people coming back to the same place to share information. But as far as the overall package goes, I think for Teams, I have to go A tier on this one. It's just got enough going for it. All right, next up we have Slack. This one's a mess. If you've ever been a part of a Slack channel, you know what I mean when I say it seems like people are just super chatty on this app specifically for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the reaction feature or some other intangible novelty that Slack has, but people just talk and talk and talk on this thing, and I'm always swamped with notifications if I ever have it up. If you're part of more than like 3 channels, good luck keeping up if it's really got enough people in it because you're just not going to be able to keep up. To me, Slack and Discord are like watching TV in 2021. Someone's always going to ask you if you've seen something that they have seen. The answer is usually no, even though you watch enough TV for 3 people. Slack and Discord are the same way. That being said, when I have used Slack, it's pretty solid functionally. I don't think bad software could handle the amount of spam that people push through this thing. So I'm going to go B tier on this one. Middle of the road. All right, next up we have Slack's cousin, Discord. You guys know the old saying, the only thing that feels more overwhelming than a Slack channel is a Discord server. If you've ever walked through a Discord server like Wall Street Bets or NBA Top Shot, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These places are like a fever dream in text format. It's a nightmare. If I find myself in one of these, I never stick around for any period of time. That said, I really do appreciate the technology of Discord and the UI. It's really clean. I really like it. But again, like I was saying, for Slack, if you're on more than 3 servers, good luck keeping up with anything, especially on Discord with notification badges. I have to do all kinds of muting and setting changes and things just to get it to not bug me all the time. I feel like my experience on Discord and Slack are so similar, I have to put Discord in the B tier as well. It's only fair. All right, next up we have FaceTime. It's 2021, Skype is dead. No one's using Skype, so I feel like FaceTime is pretty much the #1 app. I don't have any stats to back that up, but for the average person, FaceTime is the default for communicating via video. So in that regard, I feel like FaceTime should be considered the hometown hero of this competition. Before the pandemic, no one would really even ever say anything other than, hey, FaceTime me. Now with iOS 15, you can actually use this cross-platform and you can send people FaceTime links for FaceTime calls, even if they don't have an Apple device, which is nice. I haven't tested that out yet. It's browser based, so I'm not sure how good it would be, But I'm not going to knock them for that because this, again, was extremely popular before they added stuff like that. So based on the size of its user base, how many things it gets right functionally, I got to make this one A tier. The network effect is pretty powerful with stuff like this. All right, next one is Google Meet. I really don't have a lot to say about Google Meet. I know a lot of people use it for work if they're not tied down to Microsoft at their company, but I really haven't heard anything bad. I've used it personally for, holiday calls with family and stuff. I don't remember the video quality being that great, but I also haven't had a terrible experience with it either. So putting this one right in the middle of the road as well with Zoom, C tier. Okay, next is WebEx. To me, WebEx is a lot like Zoom in that you log on, you do a call, it does what you need to do, but when you're done, it's gone. And I've really never found myself wishing that a call I was on somewhere else was a WebEx. There was also one time I logged off a WebEx call and Windows 10 has a Microsoft indicator in the taskbar, and that was lighting up saying that WebEx was still using my microphone. I'm guessing and hoping that was some kind of bug, but it was just kind of weird to see the microphone being persistently accessed after the call. So yeah, I didn't care for that. And I'm gonna make this one a D, I think. Okay, you're probably thinking, what's this weird one here? This is actually an app called Blue Jeans, and I don't expect that most people have used this, but I had to throw it on here. This company was actually bought by Verizon in the last couple of years, and from what I can tell, Verizon itself is the only company really pushing anyone to use this. Apple did call it out a couple months ago in its iPad keynote, though, as a service that you can use on the new iOS version.
Not only does Center Stage work in FaceTime, it makes video calls more natural in other popular apps like Zoom, Blue Jeans, and WebEx.
And I've really heard so little about it in the outside world that I kind of wonder if that was SpawnCon. Maybe Blue Jeans donated to Apple's Patreon. I've literally only had to join a Blue Jeans call once, and it was for work, and I've never had to do it again. And if you told me that Verizon had already thrown Blue Jeans out and abandoned it as a project, I would believe you because I would not know. It was fine, it worked, but again, it was like Zoom and WebEx in that it just pops up, there's a meeting, it goes away when it's done, and that's all. It really felt like someone had just put a skin on Zoom and walked away. So not to be mean, but this one's really up there. You gotta add some features, do something. All right, those are all the services I had on here. I probably missed some that you thought I should have had on here. I am so sorry nothing is in the S tier. I'm sure there's a ton of PR people for these companies watching this very video, I'm sure. And I'm sure all of you are on the edge of your seat. So to you I say, keep innovating, keep your engineers going, add new features, innovate, build, build, build. And maybe next time you can be in the S tier on this authoritative list. It's very important, I'm sure. All right, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're not, let me know what you thought about this. If I offended you, definitely let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.